So I heard that friendship breakups are much more painful than a relationship breakup. So today we are going to discuss or talk about breaking up with a friend. How does it feel? How does it impact you? And how do you recover from losing someone that close to you? Hello, ladies.
Hi.
How are you? How are you doing?
Very fine.
So I'll take a peek. Let me start with you, Kathy. Have you ever lost a friend?
Obviously.
How did that go? What happened?
Well,
First, wait. How long were you friends and what really happened in the middle?
we probably we were friends for maybe my year two, I guess.
Mm.
And then after all that, the whole of lockdown, we became so close, I think in my year 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then lockdown, everything, and then even after school, even though Fuash was still in school, we still were so close. Every time you would see me, you would see her, like all the time. We would do things together. If maybe she's like, I started working earlier than her, and when she completed school, before she could even complete, I told her, you know what, things are going like this, but how about you try working here and there and see if you could probably come up with some little money to support yourself. Things were really moving on so well.
Okay.
It was just one slight mistake she did. And you know me, if you've done something wrong, I don't care who you are, I will tell you exact. You did A, B, C, D the way it is. If you feel you can't correct it, I think
We are
you're
done.
done.
You couldn't forgive, you couldn't compromise.
No, I couldn't.
Wow. So you broke it off.
So I told her, well, not until you're ready to sit down and talk to yourself and realize that, yes, I made a mistake. And okay, it was just about a job. She woke up one day. If you're working for somebody, expect to be maybe scolded,
Of course.
yelled at any point if you've made a mistake. You can't just wake up and leave a certain job that is helping you put some food on the table, helping you buy some luncheons, do your hair, do your what, and just wake up and go and sit at home.
And why would you be bothered about her leaving the job? Her choices.
Exactly. I am this type of friend that really cares even when it's not necessary.
Did you bother to
Ask her the why?
reasons why she actually quit?
I tried. She said she's tired.
She was just tired.
Did you also think maybe she's a planned child?
She's not. Clearly she's not. Had she been?
Okay, that hit hard. So now your problem. I don't see the reason as why I should break up with my friend because they left her job. I mean, we all do. If you've ever had, like, let me say, a group of girlfriends,
that keeps doing mistakes every now and then. That wasn't just the only thing.
So that
And
was
you
like
keep
the
telling
icing
them,
on the cake.
oh, I said, I give up.
I think I did get you because
I can't stay with somebody who only thinks of waking up, just doing her eyelashes, her nails, just looking good and just sitting pretty.
or they don't want to do something for themselves, or you have to handle the bills in most cases.
Thank you.
Okay, I think now we can. Because I feel like our friends usually make very weird. I mean, there was this time my girlfriend was telling me a few things that she didn't want to do. Okay, she's with this person, they're dating and all that. So you'd ask her, she would find reasons, she would come and say, I don't like cooking. I don't like cleaning. Which is okay. And then when you ask her, and then she's like, I feel like I'm a slave if I did these things. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't make sense to me. Because, I mean, if you're living with someone, there has to be something you do. Contribute to your being. Don't just be a person that's appearing.
Yeah.
I would never understand them, but they were my friend. So at the end of the day, they'll make their stupid choices, and it's okay. We'll still go through it together, talk about it, even feel like, you know what, if he broke up with you, but don't worry, we shall be there for you. How are we going to do that?
every time we would talk about those mistakes, the small ones, this other person would
Gets
get
defensive.
pissed and she would stop talking to me for about maybe a week or two, and then it would be me that always calls, and I'm like, hey, are you still angry because I told you A, B, C, D? They'll be like, yeah, the way you brought it out and all, and I'm like, okay.
I think we're going to get back to people not
I am
wanting
this type
feedback.
of person. If you're making a mistake, I'll tell you exactly how it is. I'll not sugarcoat things.
Thank you. Good one. Gloria, have you lost a friend?
I've actually lost two, but my very first heartbreak was really like the very first time I actually chose myself. Like, you know how you constantly let things slide? But I think this time around, it's my dad who actually advised me and he told me actually, sometimes it's not empathy, it's being, well, he used a not so nice word. He called it a people pleaser. It's like, you don't do life like that. Walk out. And he's like, I remember as I was finishing, we were done with campus. It's like, you still have your whole life ahead of you. You'll make friends. You will make really good friends. So I used to be friends with this person. We were really good friends. We were amazing. She was amazing, and I was also an amazing friend. And if you actually know me, I am that person who goes all the way in. If you are my friend, I'm literally dating you. So our parents, I had met her parents.
Thank
I
you.
had gone to her home. I had her mother's phone number on my fingertips. Her mother had mine, and she was a sickly person. So like, we were actually not friends anymore. We
Was
were
sisters.
Because even her sister, if her sister could not find her, she would call me. I'll be the one to step in. Like, you know how you family? As really family. Like, I'd gotten to that level. My family actually did like her too. They loved her a lot. I remember she was at campus, had her own room, but she'd come and sleep home. So it was that good. But people have different characteristics. You get. There is someone. They were from an okay family, not to the kind of level I was. So there was like that whole advantage she had over me, I would say. And then you find that some people in life, when they have people like that, are in a place where you are an underdog, they'll always step on you. And then they always
condescending
they always
condescending
patronize you.
conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is something you'll never do, and that is nice to them. They'll always have something negative to say about you. You get. You know how someone will actually jokingly say something very shitty. You know, I'm your friend. I wouldn't expect you to make some certain comments about me. You get. I cannot wake up and say funny things about you, like on your body or anything. It's not okay. You get.
I think they always just underlooked you.
Yeah, exactly.
They felt like you're here or there.
Yeah, so exactly. So, and you know, everyone around me is asking, how'd you stick around? But I knew deep down she was a good person. I knew that she was nice. When she wasn't saying all that, when she wasn't being mean, when she wasn't being a bully, she was actually a good person.
But I think that's all bad. You know, one thing I've told myself these days is to look at people for who they are.
Well,
if what you're doing is you're bullying me, is what you're doing, if what you're doing, sorry, is you're talking down on me, you're very condescending in conversation, that is who you are. It won't take away the fact that later on, after slapping me, you pet me. It's you're bad. That's it. Like, if you start seeing people the way they are, what they show you, not the idea of them you have of maybe their heart is good.
So this time around, when we were done with campus, actually left home and decided we moved in together. Now that is the very worst mistake you do, especially when you are jobless. You don't just move in. You don't just start stay with people. So we were staying together. She was working somewhere, and I also got a little thing to do somewhere. I was working, but I don't make much. But I was working. Actually, my whole life, one thing I know for sure, I don't depend on people. I'm always very certain I'll sustain myself. But you know, like someone who comes in the evening and expects you
to find food.
It's a 9 to 5. It's an 8 to 5 job. You should have cooked. You should have cleaned. I'm not your maid.
Ogamba, you were
But I
coming.
was like a nice person.
Were you paying part of the rent?
Yeah, we were. Everything was splitting on our bills. We were okay. So we were.
I want your kind of
very-
patience.
Yeah,
I
I'm
cannot.
actually I'm very patient. So the moments, and then she had a problem, mood swings. I've come to understand that women by default have horrible mood swings, eh?
Not all of them.
So she
We
used to
do.
come.
We
there
have our
those days-
moments.
They are those
Oh,
days
yeah.
she would come, and it's like I have just pissed her off. She's not talking to me, and I always wondered what I had done. But you see, I
But
have
that
a
thing
duty
is
about-
common with every, not every, but most young ladies I've seen who have started earning money. They become a problem.
They become-
If someone was not trained from home to be humble and to treat people respectfully, the moment they start
start
earning a
some
bit,
small-
a bit of money, someone just starts acting so weird.
Funny.
They start feeling like you're not fitting in their,
Space.
space anymore. You start looking like a problem. You start
Yeah.
like someone starts treating you like
like a
you're
burden.
less than that.
Exactly. So, but you see, I was very lucky enough. I'd never been just from home. So me, instead of having such lousy weekends, after work on Friday, I'd go home. I left home, but I would just get a taxi, go home, have a restful weekend, come back on Monday, go to work after work, come back to this place. So I constantly did that. So this one time, as I was at work, she calls. She's like, by the way, my mom is on her way from the village. I want you to go pick her up from the bus park, carry for me the things, take them home, then go to my sister's home. And I'm like, honey, I have a job. She's like, no, it's just a job. They don't even pay you that much. I'm more busy than you. I make more money. So I was like, okay, I am not going to do that. Like I said, I have a job. So I remember I turned to a friend next to me. I'm like, okay, this friend of mine just called me and said this and this. Can you imagine that? She's like, well, people can say things. I'm like, anyhow, me, I'm just going to go to my home. I have a job after work. I'm heading home. After work, I decided to go home. So when I actually didn't even last the day, I worked till afternoon. Afternoon, I just, like how you keep...
You're tired.
You've
bottled up the emotions.
Yes, like, I was hungry. Like, how
dare
call
you?
me? And you're telling me to
oh
go
my
and
God.
like she is not my mother. That's your mother. That's your responsibility. Don't dump it on me. So I actually went home, slept it off. In the evening when I woke up, my phone had buzzed. There were calls and calls. Her mother had called, her sister had called, she had called. I didn't pick up on their calls. I didn't return them. Monday came back to work. In the evening, on Monday came back to work. It was a Friday. So Monday I came back from work. I came home. She was fuming like fire. So like I think from Monday to Wednesday, no one said a word to any other person. And I think I'd gotten to a point where I was tired. I was really exhausted. So what I did, and then the next thing it was Thursday. She came and she just entered the house and started screaming, "How dare you go to work and tell your friends at work?" Like she
As though kind of like blasting
yes,
you.
and then she was saying things. I'm like, hold on. Let me go to my work to bad mouth.
Hold the thought, Gloria, and we will be right back. We'll be back. Gloria. And she? What happened?
Well, when she yelled at me like that, I was like, I'm not getting this, what's going. It's like you were bad mouthing me, my family, blah blah blah, to your friends at work. I'm like, between me and you, we only know one person at work together who could have told you. So what exactly did I do? So for me in that moment, it was not even the lies that the girl told her. It was how long me and her had been friends. I did not expect her to listen. If I ever did something to you or said something, I don't want you to come and yell at me. I want you to actually ask me. But I also want you to have a vote of confidence that
In you.
I will say certain things, but there are certain things
I would
I'll
never say.
I do not, there are some things I can't say, and I think if someone came and told me Rose did this, this, and this, and this, I'm not that gullible to say, actually, Rose did it. if I actually believe Rose can't do this, I'll not even bother
Or give
to
it a
come
second
thought
thought.
to actually go for Rose. Like, how could you? I'll just actually ignore it for good. But I was thinking to myself, if it really hurts you, you should talk to me. Don't just scream at me. But exactly what did I say? She just went on and dealing. And in that moment, I told myself, I have done this for years.
And this
And I
it.
don't think there is much I can say that will change.
That will
or
change.
anything. I didn't say much. I just told her, I remember I just told her, it would have done me well if actually knew that I would never say such things about you. It would be better. But if you think I said them, you could bring the girl here. Maybe. But I'm like, at this point, I don't think that will actually change your mind. So the next day was Friday. She woke up and she went to work as always. But that day I contemplated. I asked myself, do I really want to be here? What am I doing here? What am I even paying rent for here? I have a home, it's empty. So I remember I got on my phone and I called my dad and I told him about it. And my dad told me one thing. It's like, we were all waiting for you. We didn't know how long it would last.
Wow, I like that.
You parents have that eye. Parents see. Respect your parents when they see things.
Okay. And then he asked me, do I call like my brother? Do I call him so that he helps? I'm like, no. I'm only going to carry my clothes. So my dad is like, what do you need? I said, I just need transport. My dad said, get an Uber, put in your things, come home. That girl was at work. I packed only my clothes. And when I say that we had cost shared, like we had bought seats, we had bought so many things in the house, and everyone had to put half the money, you get. So I literally had half of everything in there as much as she did. But I told myself no. So I picked out only my clothes, packed my clothes, and got in the car. I never said goodbye. I never said anything. I just left. And now if you want to know that I have left, that's how I live. I don't say anything.
Wow.
If I ever say something, just know I'm coming back.
when you live with a bang of, by the way, you'll regret this.
Tomorrow I'll be here. But the moment my mouth
It's shut. Like, yeah, the more you keep quiet and you just hope you've
I
gone.
remember the whole journey to home is a very short journey from Pelere to Weyogere. I actually cried. And I kept on telling myself, how did I even stand this shit? How did I let myself go through all this? So I remember I got home and I rested it off. And after when she came back that evening, I think she saw everything that belonged to me was missing. She didn't call me. She called her mom. Her mother called me. And like, by the way, I do not like how you're acting towards my daughter. You're a bad person. She had told you to come and pick me from the bus park. You refused to pick me up. Now you wait. Now you have picked out all your things and abandoned her in the house. She's a sickly person. She went on. And in my head, I told myself, if I were in the same shoes, my mom would have never called and cried like that. My mom would have called and asked what happened. What went wrong?
What can we do?
What can we do? I thought to myself, I'm like, if a girl can talk to me the way she talks to me, and the mother has the audacity
to also
call me and yell at me. No one knows where I was the 3 days of Friday, if I was actually okay. The reason I didn't come to the bus park, was I actually okay?
Yeah, no.
I'm like, if anyone actually
cared
that much.
That must have been...
Like, you had promised you were going to split the rent. Now she's supposed to do all the... I sat in and listened to her mother's phone call.
They were not worried about you at all.
No. It was everything.
It was the comfort of her daughter.
Actually, the only person that was worried was the big sister. She's the one who called me a few days and said, what is it, Gloria? It's like, you're a good person. You guys can talk about these things. You guys are more than friends. You guys are sisters. And remember, I told her, your sister.
Not for me.
Not for me. I deserve
better.
And then, unfortunately for her, I had seen how good friends can treat. I had friends from senior 1, and she was my senior 5 friend. You get? So there's a whole difference. I knew what friendship was, and I don't even know why I was in it. So one thing I know is we can actually be in toxic friendships.
And you accept. And the one thing I always want to tell people is, in my own space, the person that I lost, and it kind of hurt, but later on when I think about it, didn't hurt, is I learned from that breakup that I was in a friendship with a version of this person that I had painted in my own head, which hindered me from seeing who they really were. Because there is that point when someone does this one thing. It's one thing I hate about lying. Do not lie. Like, don't. If you can be in a position to tell someone the truth, be truthful. Just be truthful. Because that one lie you tell, it's very, and I find out you are lying, I'll start doubting everything that you ever said. And the problem is, if you look at the dark side, you will find what you're looking for. If you look at redoing this friendship with this person, you're like, but wait a minute. There was this thing that happened this time. Was it also a lie? There was a thing that happened this time, like it's an amount of lies. So in my case, we're like a group of girls. Like, we've been friends for a while.
Think about group of girls. You don't lose one friend. You lose one circle. No, me, that's what I went through. When I lost this girl, I realized I didn't want any. I realized I said I distanced myself from everyone that was her friend, that was our friend. I cut myself out, and I remember I stood alone. And I remember one time, actually, I think like 2 days later, I realized, because I think I opened my WhatsApp and no one was texting me, and that's when it hit me. I'm like, hold on, I'm friendless. Like, I am literally alone. I think that's the time
not
I
for
called my
her.
dad, and he told me,
In my case, she's the one that lost the rest of us along the way, because of, she didn't do one thing, but she had a with everyone individually. You know how you have an issue with this one, it's never solved, but we push it under the carpet. You know, we are friends. Then you have an issue with Gloria, and you push it under the carpet. I mean, we are friends. Then you have an issue with me. But you know, as a group of friends, we all have different temperaments. So this time on, she had an issue with someone she was so close to who had a hot temper. So when that happened, that one just broke. For her, she was like, no, this is not happening. So she just kind of like cut off. So there was that kind of rift between her and you would see the tension between these two people who were once so close. Does it make sense? Yeah. So when we noticed that, we tried to dig in and find out what happened. But she was selling us a version of the story where she was the hero.
Don't they always do that?
Yes. So it took a whole lot of courage from the rest of us when we were like, you know what, let's find out what really happened from the other. Because I didn't know, these people are friends, both of them. And this is not a friendship of 1 year, 2 years. It's stemming from 2010, 29. Like, we're young. So we tried to find out what happened from the other person and the shock that hit us. I remember that day we sat down, like all of us, and she was narrating to us what actually happened. And you know, people who are usually short-tempered, some of them are hardly liars. They usually tell you the truth because they,
exactly how they're feeling, and
for them they are hoping that we've worked things out. But now, because you are a shady person, you try to make it something it's not. So we sat down with her and she told us all these things that had happened. And the same similar situation that she had gone through with her is the same situation each of us individually had gone through with this particular person. And we're all like, but then she did the same thing to me like this. And so we realized maybe it's a character defect on this person. But either way, even amidst that chaos, we were ready to love this girl throughout. So we get back and we talked to her. We were like, actually, one was courageous enough. I was like, me, I'll talk to her. Every other person was fearing her. And I sat her down and I'm like, you know what, this and this happened. But what happened? What went on? You know, we can go past this or what? Because you have wronged people. And maybe we've also wronged you somehow. You know, sometimes, even when you've not done something wrong to someone, when you're apologizing, you don't want them to feel like they're the only ones apologizing. You also take a bit of the blame just to keep this thing going. Child, I was shocked. This girl knows how to spin tables.
No, she did.
Wow.
Yeah, she did. She's tables and told me, by the way, you of all people shouldn't even be saying this. I blame you for this and this and this. She was blaming me.
I like gaslighters.
She was blaming me for something she had done herself. She was dating this guy. Lied to that guy. I think with her, lying is a character. Lied to this guy. After lying to this guy, didn't inform the rest of us of her.
Lie.
You know when your friend is lying, sometimes if you're going to lie and put me in the middle of it,
Tell me.
tell me! Let me!
I heads up.
Good, yeah! But you're lying, you've put me in the middle of the lie, I don't know about it. So someone gets me unaware. I remember even at campus, this guy was so disappointed, he drove to my college. He came and was like, hey, Rose, I need to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what's up? So he drove and was like, do you know what is going through this and this and this and this? I'm like, huh? Let me call her and find out. I didn't know, I've been away, what, Richie? I tried to, but this, if the person has come to you, not because they want you to,
They want to confirm
not because they already have
knows.
that hinge in their heart that someone lied
to them.
And they're just coming to you to confirm.
to confirm.
Oh my God.
And now I didn't know any of the things that were going on. I didn't know where to begin. I didn't know how to pimp the lie. I tried to call her, try and pick up. I'm like, you know what? I'll find out from her. I'm not sure because I've also been doing what? Papers. But this guy was like, it's fine. I've gotten the answer I wanted. Got back into his car, drove away. So she was blaming me for losing this particular person. So I told her, how exactly did I participate? You told your own lie. You didn't bother to tell us your lie.
Even though she bothered, not everyone is supposed to string alone. Tell me.
That conversation is when I actually saw how dark this girl's heart was. Because I was like, I couldn't believe a person who would do something so bad to everyone. And when people try to talk to you, you're now spinning things to try and make it look like the people you hurt actually hurt you. So are you revenging? Should we say you were revenging? So when I had that for me in my heart that day, I let her go. In my heart of hearts, I let her go. I was like,
That was the right thing
that
to do.
is it. And then to make it worse, like she had made a mess of everyone's life somehow, created like a mess, and she walked out and left every other person to pick up the pieces. And when finally we got over that whole conversation with her, so anyways, I won't drill so much about what happened with this person, but all I can say, for me, it was an eye-opener. It was what someone shows you, what they say, how they treat you. That's exactly who they are. There is nothing more to look for in a heart of hearts that you cannot even see. Assuming they are good, but they are condescending. They are good, but they are bullies. They are good, but they are consistently lying. They are good, but they are lighting up fires, small fires that keep consuming everything, the air in the spaces you all occupy. So for me, I learned to just see people how they are and take it how they are. And that's all for today, guys. Because of time, we have to let this go. But you can let us know, interact with us, send us messages, comment. How did you lose a friend? How did it make you feel? What was your story? What did you learn from it? Thank you. See you.